Mark, over here. What are you reading?
I think Transformers, but it's got a Batman cover on it.
Well, we'll take a look at that and see how close you are. We'll do that right after this. That is a big ass truck. Um, Welcome to this week's edition of DC Comics Deep Dive. Back after a week off. Before we get any further, don't forget to subscribe. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you leave us a comment. Let us know how we're doing, and hit the notification bell so you're alerted whenever we upload new content. There were no absolute issues that came out last week, but there were some announcements that came out. We can talk about those as well. But we did have Absolute Batman #2.
Is that the Delato cover?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
yeah. I was lucky. It was the last one on the shelves when I got there because they
Mm.
put the A cover in my box, but um, it was there. Yeah, he really did a really great job. Dialato is I really like him, but sometimes sometimes he like really knocks it out of the park, and then other
Mm.
times it's just kind of like
Yeah, it's
it's
never
good, but
bad, but
yeah,
sometimes you put some stank on it.
exactly. So this
Is
is
he
issue number.
coming to? Is he
I
going to be at MegaCon this year?
I believe he is. He's doing for the first time in a long time. He's doing some U.S. dates, I believe. So I believe he may
When
be
is
at MegaCon.
MegaCon?
MegaCon is the first full weekend of February.
Okay,
It's
so it's still
Super Bowl
on.
weekend, actually.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's actually it's like earlier and earlier in the year every year. I mean, it just seems like it because it used to be in May, and
Definitely a lot
then
earlier than that now.
yeah, and then last year I think was in March, and now this year it's in February. So
It'll be in January next year, and then it'll be
exactly,
2 in 1 year after that.
exactly. Um, so we're up to issue #3 now in the Absolute Universe with Batman. Um, and we start off exactly where we left. Well, not exactly where we left because we have a quick couple page flashback. If you recall, in issue #2, Catwoman had stolen a medal that young Bruce Wayne had won, and so that's kind of where we start in issue #3.
Yeah, young Selena.
Yeah,
Yeah, and they're just kind of he's chasing after her in the opening of it, talking back and forth, just innocent back and forth friend talk where he's nervous about following her over these rooftops and across these wires. And you're kind of just getting a sense that Selena has had these kind of streetwalker abilities, these acrobatic abilities, this familiarity with the streets from a young age.
yeah, and she takes. I mean, there's some discussion. She actually takes and explains exactly how cats work, about how they have really good eyesight, but it's only really close. So that's why they don't look far ahead; they look right in front of them, and that's kind of what Selena is kind of coaching Bruce to. Don't look all the way down to the ground. Look at the wire that's right in front of you instead. So.
Hmm.
And so we did that's like a one the first page. Then we get a big 2-page splash page, title page, but then we go back to where we were at the end of issue #2.
Yeah, with Batman and Alfred in this giant bat dump truck that just drove out of the building through a little police officer blockade, and now it's a chase. Police are chasing them, the gangs are chasing them, everyone's chasing them, and it's a shootout. This book jumps the shark for me really fast, right here, right at the beginning.
Yeah, it's like I mean, since it's Christmas time, I'll say it's like a Hess truck on steroids. Um, it really is. It's all about how big the truck is, and Alfred talking about, hey, you still only have 25 seconds to tell me why I should trust you, all these other different things. But then he also does start talking about what Alfred knows is going on in Gotham City as well. He talks about how the Black Mask basically has unlimited resources, and if you basically he tries to convince Bruce, if you kind of make peace, for lack of a better term, with Black Mask, he'll stop the assault on Gotham.
On
You
all
know,
the innocent people.
yeah, and all the innocent people. He'll pay you a lot of money, and then leave me and my group. We'll come in later, and we'll
Yeah,
catch you.
fight the crime that's not Black Mask. Let him be. He'll drop his guard. We'll find a way in, and I can take him out. Batman's like, nah, brah. And the big problem is they can't get away from these bad guys. And he's like, we got to ditch this giant dump truck and figure out what to do. And Batman's like, no worries. Clicks a button, and in very few panels that are not very big, there's a transformation scene that takes place. Literally just a close-up of a piston, a close-up of a tire, and then in the very next page you have a slimmed down, no longer a dump truck but a Batmobile.
Yeah.
They're driving a transformer.
And that's where you say jump the shark for you.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. Using kind of mixing franchises.
Yeah, maybe. But it was pretty cool where they hit the pedal to the metal, they take off. I mean, the tires didn't get any smaller. Alfred's still tiny on top of it, but it did get a lower decker. And they were able to shoot some deterrents out, take out the gang behind them with these little electric bat bullet things. A lot of small panels, I got to say. There's a lot of action that's happening, but it's all in such small panels that you're not really feeling any of it. And they eventually get cornered at the end of a dock, and he kicks Alfred off the Batmobile via ejector seat, and then drives his dump truck into the ocean, to the ocean floor where he has an entrance into his bat cave.
Yep.
Which that was kind of cool.
Yeah, it was. We go back to flashback to Selina again, Bruce and Selina when they were young, having some discussions. And at the end of their discussion, Selina actually ends up taking Bruce to go see Zorro, which, for those of you who are familiar with the Batman lore, that's the movie that Bruce and his parents went to go see on the night that they were killed in Crime Alley.
So he wasn't too happy about going to this movie.
Right.
Master, what do you think you're doing?
Right. Then we flash back, and then we come back to the present again, and now Batman is talking exactly. Time travel whiplash. Now Bruce is talking to Edward Nygma, who has created this robot, which he which he calls, I don't know what to call it yet. I think I'll call it Riddle Man, or he calls it Al, because for Al Turing, who had to do something to do with computing.
The Library of Alexandria.
Right.
A visual play on AI, of course.
Right. So maybe he calls it Riddle Man. So Bruce starts asking this robot computer, what's going on. If you remember, he has one of those Black Mask skulls from the last issue, and so he asks him to tell him, what's going on. What is the purpose of this? What is it made of? What are its weaknesses? All these good things. He starts asking these questions of it.
Yeah, pretty much tells them that all the tech inside the mask keeps these gang members completely separated from their leader. It sends them coordinates, it sends them missions, it sends them money. It's all like their relay point. So it's what keeps them coordinated but separated at the same time. And this robot is clearly about to be the absolute Riddler. Just calling it now. Like we got the absolute Riddler is going to be a murder machine by this is over, which is pretty cool because that's something that's kind of very far from what we would expect. And I'd even got on a limb to say it's probably going to kill Edward.
Very, very well could be. Very well could be. Yeah, I mean, they went to the the trouble to actually name it Riddle Man. It seems like that would be right up what Scott Snyder maybe has planned. So. Bruce and Edward call Harvey Dent, asking some questions. They then go to see what's his name, Roman Sionis, who is Black Mask here. Besides providing cover and anonymity, the mask does serve different things. And one of the things that the Riddle Man tells Bruce is, even if you do manage to take one out, it doesn't really matter because they're all satellite based, and you can you've destroyed that one, but it's really not going to do anything in the grand scheme of things. So we see Black Mask is fighting Bilbowski. From Superman.
His insert commissioner or mayor. They took out Jim Gordon, and now they have like an insert of their choosing going in, and they're having a meeting with him, and they're all pretty much buck naked wrestling when they get to Black Mask's yacht. Except for his helmet, of course, he's got his He's got his underoos on and his black mask helmet, wrestling Bibbo.
Yeah, who is actually a Superman character in the main universe.
And in this one, he's a renounced fighter, MMA fighter or whatever. And Black Mask is just having a conversation about being a pacifist with the onlookers while breaking Bibbo's arm and choking him to death.
Yes, it's funny, and actually, people actually say that to him when he says, I'm a pacifist," and he's like, "Really?" And he's like, "Well, I bring peace to places. That's what I do."
As he breaks the arm.
Exactly. And then, pretty much puts him in like a sleeper hole that basically makes his eyes come out of his head.
Yeah, I really feel like this whole scene was just to serve the purpose of to try to elevate the danger of Black Mask in this series. In episode 1, we saw his capabilities of infiltrating the crime family gangs and taking them out with no repercussion. And the last issue, and a little bit in this one, we see like the extent of his gang and everything. And in this issue, they show us firsthand that he is physically capable individual by having him fight somebody who's comparable in size to our Batman in this series. So they're just trying to level up the character for the readers to have a sense of danger with them, I guess.
Right. We find Bruce then doing some surveying because earlier in the issue we hear about Arc M. And we find out that these arcs are basically these black ops sites around the world. And so there's, Arc M is in Gotham. We have Arc A, which is where is Arc A?
With the prototype in
Santa Prisca. Right. Arc B is in Russia. Arc C is in China. So there are these black ops sites around the world. Because Bruce is very interested in infiltrating these and doing away with them. So then we flash back again, time for some more Whiplash, back to the Zorro movie for just a quick one-page thing. Then we come back to the present where Bruce's mother is now going to be serving as the assistant mayor.
Yeah, against Bruce's wishes.
Right, because obviously, Bruce is aware that, anytime you have any leader in any city or anything like that, there's certainly a target for, if not violence, for bribery, for whatever, whatever happens, because, the people who want to run the city will always kind of try to put their thumb on the people who are actually elected to run the city to try to make sure the city's run the way that they want it.
There's also the crosshairs of being in the Black Mask's eyesight.
Right. So we find, so Bruce is now in a dilemma because now, he doesn't want anything to happen to his mother, but he also, wants to be able to stop the Black Mask. So we find we see a broadcast of someone who is railing against the city and Mayor Gordon, who basically says, it's time to put Gotham back together. And then we flash to the last page where we see we hear a discussion going on between Black Mask and Bruce, and at the end of the discussion, Bruce basically says now to the Black Masks that he'll take the deal to save Gotham. And
the deal is they'll give Batman $2 million to stand down for 1 week, and in exchange they'll take it easier on Gotham, a little easier on Gotham for that week.
Right. So we have, at the end of the issue, we have the dilemma: has Bruce now sold out to the Black Mask? Something that at the beginning of the issue he said he would never do.
Yeah, he takes the deal.
So that's where we go.
Or does he?
We'll find out. Probably not in issue 4, because I believe issue 4 is going to be kind of like a flashback all the way to the beginning of Black Mask, because it's not meant to have Batman, because it's not a Nick Dragotta issue. It has a guest artist.
That's a bad sign. Way too early for guest artists.
Yeah. So this story will continue in issue 5, I believe, if I read things correctly. But we did also get some, since we're talking about absolutes, we got some DC solicitations this week coming up in March. We will have Absolute Green Lantern, we will have Absolute Flash, we will have Absolute Martian Manhunter. So they're coming out with 3 new titles in March. So the Absolute universe is off and kicking.
Mm-hmm. Hopefully it maintains momentum. I don't know. Maybe I'm just too busy this time of year and rushing to read and everything. But this issue really didn't do it for me.
Hmm. Yeah,
Just I don't know.
yeah. I mean, it definitely has not put me off of Absolute Batman.
Well,
I would say it probably has not been the best of the three that have come out so far. Um, we'll see what happens. Like I said, I mean, I'm sure that probably Bruce is just playing along with Black Mask, you know, to get what he wants or whatever. So I'm sure. I'm sure whatever his reasonings are, it'll end up being for the best for Gotham and everything. I don't think he'll sell out in the end. So, but that's going to be it for this edition of DC Comics Deep Dive. Again, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, hit the like comment. It's right down. Hit the like button. It's right down there. It's a little thumbs up. Just hit that, and leave us a comment. Let us know how we're doing. But that's going to be it. As always, I am Paul. He is Mark,
but we are Legion.
and you're now leaving Sector 2815.